Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone, so make sure to check out your other placements to get a more complete picture. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. All right, let's get started. What is the energy around Taurus for the week ahead? Okay, seeing time to go come through here. Let's see if there's another message. Thank you. With by the book, and we're seeing mending on the bottom of the deck here, my friends. So interesting. So time to go with by the book says it's literally time to go by the book. It's time to do something conventional. It's time to do something where you're sort of moving past a situation where there's nothing left for you to learn from that situation. It's time to explore something else. And it almost feels like where you're being guided to go, Taurus, is something that is sort of like working with the laws of the universe is coming through here. Law of abundance, law of karma, law of attraction, law of compensation, law of expectation. There are certain principles that you're working with right now energetically that are moving you from one experience where you've sort of experienced everything you need to out of here, and now it's time to move towards something different. And it could be that you're going to have to sort of release resistance to follow along with sort of a structure, or follow some rules, or almost like move in a direction that is one that you've moved in before. You know, it's time to sort of move in a direction that is based on surrender, not fighting and resistance, but almost trusting these universal laws are in place to help sort of move you into a new space, if that makes sense. So this could be something that sort of just with your own experience has shown you that by trusting that certain experiences ultimately will come to an end, that pushing and resisting and trying to allow things to continue past a certain point doesn't serve you. And seeing this mending card on the bottom of the deck, interesting, followed by community, makes me think that the situation that has sort of, you've outgrown the situation that you have learned everything you can from. There's no reason to have any resentments towards any of the parties involved in that situation, because ultimately it's like they're playing the part to get you to move on. And so there's no point in harboring any sort of resentment or anger, because everyone's playing their part perfectly right now. So forgiveness in the sense of not holding it against these other parties that are at play here, because they're doing their job. They're playing their role perfectly. They're trying to get you to move on. And you might be seeing this as, well, why are they treating me like this? Well, they're treating you like that because the energy in that environment is no longer serving you. So you're getting pushed out the door somehow here, Taurus. And instead of having resentments, it's almost like you should ask yourself the question, if my higher self understands why this is happening, what would be the message for me to understand? You know, like if my higher self is coordinating these individuals or this energy or the circumstances where I feel like I'm being pushed out the door from something, what's the message in that for me? And what's coming through for me, for you, is that the message is you've experienced everything. It's now time to move on to something else. You've already been in this space long enough to sort of learn everything you were supposed to learn from this space. And now it's feeling stagnant, and there may be energies of other people sort of trying to push you out the door because you've experienced all that you need to. And as I cut the deck, we're seeing justice with the 10 of Wands, and you can see the Lovers wants to come through as well, which makes me feel like you're done. You're done with a certain situation. It's now time to explore things that are in balance with your authenticity. And that's where the Lovers and Justice come in. And that this is not something to hold resentment. They're doing their part perfectly. So whatever is happening around you in a certain area where you feel like you just don't belong there anymore, the individuals involved in that process, don't hold resentment against them, because they're actually playing their part perfectly to guide you to a new space, a new situation, a new opportunity. Working with those universal laws, there's this law of cause and effect. There's this law of moving towards where, like energy is attracted to like energy. And so your energy no longer is vibing with this situation anymore. It's now time to move on, and you're being guided to this new beginning. But I feel like you're holding resentment. You're feeling like this was done to you instead of for you. And we're seeing the Four of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Sun in reverse with the Seven of Wands. So what that makes me feel for you, Taurus, is that there's a part of you that's suspicious about these characters. And I think that's why we're seeing mending on the bottom of the deck. Forgive. Don't hold resentment, because all that resentment does is make you feel really pessimistic about these changes that are ultimately going to lead to a new beginning. Seeing the Ace of Swords is confirmation for me that what's happening right now is moving you to the truth that you don't belong in this space anymore. It's now time for you to explore a new space and to surrender to that without resentment, with trust. Trusting that you are always being guided towards your highest good and you don't belong in this space anymore. Seeing the Four of Pentacles tells me that this could be work related, because money is a factor here. You're holding on to this experience perhaps because of money, or perhaps because it's your livelihood. And you're thinking to yourself, well, if I'm going to be moving on to something else, I need that thing to appear before I move on. You know, it's almost like you're saying to yourself, I'll be happy once, this situation is resolved. But it's actually that the situation will be resolved when you start feeling that you can surrender and be happy in the moment, instead of holding resentments and feeling like people are working against you because of some malicious intent. This is all an orchestra. This is a play. Life is a play, and we are but the actors in this play. And the people surrounding you are playing their role perfectly right now. They're playing their role perfectly. Their role right now is to demonstrate to you that this situation you're in is no longer in alignment with you, and it's time to realize you have all the tools to be successful wherever you are, but that you're not learning anything new in this situation. You've been there, you've done that. There's a part of you that wishes you could receive acknowledgement for all of your efforts and hard work, but ultimately this is all in balance with where you need to go next, which is on a new path. There's the world. This cycle is closed. It's time to go, and it's time to move in a direction where you feel surrender and trust, and that you're working with these universal laws that are trying to get you redirected. You're being redirected to follow a new path. And it's interesting because I feel like letting go of any kind of resentment is almost like you're demonstrating that you understand none of this is personal. This is all energy, and your energy belongs somewhere else now, Taurus. So Taurus is being divinely redirected. Let's have a look. Yeah, you're being guided to establish a foundation elsewhere. Three of Pentacles in reverse. You might not want to work with the same people anymore. You might be feeling like you don't trust the people around you anymore. I feel like you're almost misinterpreting their intentions and seeing it as personal, as opposed to they're playing the role of the people that are showing you have no nothing more to learn from this experience. If everything stays peaceful, you might stay there forever and miss out on something new here. And so it's almost like they have to create a certain amount of discomfort for you so that you will feel like, yeah, it's time for me to go. I don't belong in this space anymore. There's the Six of Wands coming out again, confirming to me right next to the other Six of Wands that you don't feel acknowledged. You're taking this personally and feeling hurt, which is fair enough, but it's almost like you're missing the lesson. You're missing the lesson here. The lesson isn't to make you feel like you're not acknowledged and that no one wants you around and that they hurt your feelings. The lesson is you have nothing left to learn from this experience. And the more you stay, the more uncomfortable it's going to get. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands, which is asking you to step out of your comfort zone and pursue something different. And so until you do that, Taurus, I feel like this situation is going to continue to make you uncomfortable. There's the World again, until you surrender to this cycle being closed. Look at that, the World landing on the World. Such confirmation for us to receive that you're done. This cycle is finished. It's time to move on. And I feel like you know that. And on the bottom of the deck now we're seeing the Chariot, which is confirmation that it's time to move. It's time to go. You're getting this movement message here quite a bit. You're getting this time to go message quite a bit. Seeing here that it's now time for you to explore something brand new, and that this isn't personal in the sense of people don't want you around or you suck in any way. You know, I kind of feel that like you're internalizing this, and I'm feeling this message of you saying to yourself, well, why don't they want me around? Do I suck? Like, do they not like me? It's not about that. This is, again, if you think about this as a movie, right, or a play, these actors, these people around you are trying to show you that you don't belong here anymore. And that's why it's become uncomfortable. Not because there's anything wrong with you. Don't personalize this. See it from the perspective of your higher self, guiding you to go, to move on without resentment, and to ground yourself in that, to ground yourself. You're feeling fear. When I see this Earth and grounding card, that tells me your root chakra may be out of alignment because of fear and because there's a part of you that feels rejected. Seeing inner child healing on the bottom of the deck. So there's a part of you that feels rejected instead of redirected. This is a message. I hope that you take this message, if it resonates for you, that it's time to move on to something else. That where you are feeling rejected is actually your green light to say it's time to go. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. And I'm sending you so much love. Take care.